Hey guys, my name is Trevor Sullivan. I am a solutions architect with Stratusgrid. We are a consulting and product organization that helps you to optimize your costs in the cloud. Now, one of the topics I wanted to talk about in this particular video is how you can optimize the spend on your Amazon EC2 instances in your AWS account. And we actually have a product that can help you to identify these cost savings opportunities. So the product's name is called Stratusphere. You can actually log in to the console over at stratusphere.app. That's the website. And then once you're logged into Stratusphere, you can go over to this findings section right here, and then you can filter down to the Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud Service. Also, if you are part of a larger organization, you can add another filter for your specific company here. So I'm just going to choose this company Atlas right here. And then one of the findings that we'll see here is called low utilization Amazon EC2 instances. And what this is a mechanism for you to identify EC2 instances that have too many virtual CPUs allocated to them, and they're simply not utilizing the allocated CPU effectively. So we can optimize these low utilization EC2 instances by simply resizing or scaling down the size of the EC2 instances. That's also known as vertical scaling. So you've probably heard of horizontal scaling, where you can add multiple instances of your application, such as using container-based solutions or by adding more EC2 instances. But in this case, we're actually doing a vertical scaling operation where we take a single EC2 instance and we take it from a larger EC2 instance type down to a smaller EC2 instance type. And that will allow us to spend less, but still get the performance that we need for our application. So once you've identified the resource ID right here that you need to change the instance type of, we can actually head right over to the AWS Management Console here, make sure that we choose the correct region for that EC2 instance, and then we can find the specific instance ID that we need to affect. So in this particular case, if I wanted to resize this EC2 instance from something like a T3 small to a T3 micro, for example, the first thing that we would need to do is to make sure that it's not a spot instance. One of the limitations of AWS at the moment is that you cannot resize spot instances. So if you scroll down in the settings here and look at the lifecycle field here, it should say normal instead of a spot instance. So as long as it has a normal lifecycle, you'll be able to resize it. So simply right-click on the instance and click on Stop Instance here. And after a moment here, that instance will be stopped, and then we'll have the option to actually resize it. You can also refer to the documentation in the AWS EC2 or Amazon EC2 documentation here under the user guide for Linux instances. There's an article under instances called Change the Instance Type, and this talks about how you can resize an instance and some of the risks and things that you'll want to think about when you are doing a resize operation. One of the things that you'll want to think about is that anytime that you stop an EC2 instance, you'll actually lose any data that is on the ephemeral disk that's attached to the EC2 instance. Not all EC2 instance types have this type of local storage, but it is called the instance store. And so when you stop and restart an instance, you'll lose any of the data that is on that instance store volume. So just be aware of that in case your application is specifically using data on that local storage. So now that our EC2 instance is stopped right here, we can right click on it, go to the instance settings, and then we can choose change instance type right here. We can simply specify a new instance type that we want to use. I'll go ahead and search for T3 micro here. So that's going from small down to micro. That's one step down, and you'll see the changes in the pricing here as well. We're going to go from 2 gigabytes of memory down to 1 gigabyte of memory, and that's going to cost us approximately 50% of what the original instance type was. Once we apply that change, we can go ahead and just right-click on that virtual machine and choose to start that instance, and then it'll get scheduled onto a new node, and it'll launch that virtual machine so that we can continue using it. So make sure that you head over to stratusphere.app or contact our sales team if you're interested in onboarding your AWS organization into this application so that you can centralize all of your findings across your entire organization and then locate findings based on which service is being affected here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video. Take care.